Tonight on a Levi Trumbull special report, we take you inside the case of the unlawful trespass of religious men at a public event by the Frederick City Police Department. We are going to bring you the exclusive interview with Pastor Raymond, one of the individuals trespassed during this June 22nd event, the Frederick Pride Festival in Frederick, Maryland. Also, Maryland activist Shawn Porter sounds off in reaction. Plus, we have new and never before seen video from the incident in question. All this straight ahead on Levi Trumbull reporting. Levi Trumbull reporting. Guys, we are actually in Washington County. We're here today because we're actually going to be providing some public comment on some unrelated matters. So the first thing that I want to let everyone know is that this is a follow-up to the story that we have been covering as it relates to a group of Christian men, a group of Christian street preachers who were trespassed from the June 22nd Frederick City Pride Festival. Now, I just want to state for the record, right from the get-go, that we have reached out to the Frederick City Police Department through multiple fashions. We've tried to email them, we've tried to call them, we have tried to get their side of the story as to why a group of Christian street preachers, a group of Christian men, were trespassed from Carroll Creek Park in the city of Frederick. As of right now, they have been silent on this issue. I also want to state for the record that this broadcast will be simulcasted on many different news networks. So it'll be here on Levi Trumbull, the Levi Trumbull channel, but it will also be on many other networks as well. And we appreciate those networks covering this story. We are here today with street preacher Brother Ray. He's going to share what happened, his story on June 22nd at that Frederick Pride Festival. So, Brother Ray, thank you for being here.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
So, I have some documentation right here.
Yeah.
I just want to put it out there for the record. We have some records right here. We got these records through Maryland Public Information requests. And essentially what we have here is the contract that the Frederick Pride Festival entered into with the city of Frederick, Maryland. So we have a clear understanding of what the rules and regulations were as it relates to this whole situation. But before we get into that, I just want to ask you a quick question to start off with.
Sure. What
brought you out to the city of Frederick on June 22nd?
Well, we just had some street preachers that wanted to get together for that day. You know, we're just as public as anybody else, you know, so we wanted to come share our faith. We come down to the Pride event in Frederick, and we were singing, we were sharing our faith, sharing scriptures, preaching the Word of God, and you know, we just come to stand for the Word of God that day.
So on that day, on June 22nd, you guys were out there. There was a group of you, yes?
Yes, sir.
How many approximately?
I would say there was probably maybe 6, 7, 8 or so of us.
And when you pulled up, your intention was to disciple in Carroll Creek Park, where the event was being held, correct?
Sure, we wanted to be where the crowd was. We
right.
You know, yeah, absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely, Carroll Creek.
So when you attempted to descend into Carroll Creek Park, what happened? Who stopped you from doing that? What initially happened?
Well, we began preaching and sharing the Word of God. As we were coming up to Carroll Creek, the police were actually already in process of subduing and arresting a young man for playing his trumpet on the city sidewalk. And so we just proceeded from there towards the creek. We were interacting with folks. We were preaching, sharing our faith right at the entrance of Carroll Creek. And for whatever reason, the police officers came to us and informed us that we were not allowed to enter into the area of the Carroll Creek.
Yeah.
And so they drew an imaginary line and told us we could not cross that line. If so, we would, we would be hit for, I guess, trespassing or cited or arrested.
So yes, and I want to state for the record that this is about the time when I believe I pulled up and I witnessed this. I watched a deputy, a police officer with the Frederick City Police Department, draw a line like this, like an imaginary line in the brick, flooring, and say that this was the line that you guys were not allowed to be crossed. And then later on, when I tried to walk up to a couple of the police deputies to try to get a point of clarification to see what had happened, they would not give me any information about that subject. I gotta ask you a question real quick. I'm not to interrupt anything. Are you trespassed? They said there's a line.
Trespass.
You're kidding me.
I already hit the police pretty hard. The police actually grabbed me.
You point with a vagina female, I'm not getting down.
I'm not.
Back up. You'll be given a warning from my sergeant. Back up. You'll be given a warning from my sergeant. Okay? Back up.
I have a point of clarification.
Okay. I'm not. You want to contact someone? You're media.
Okay.
Contact a PIO.
Wait, am I?
That's it.
I have a question for you. I was walking up to ask you a question. We were cool.
You have
Yeah,
an emergency.
absolutely.
You have an emergency.
No, I just wanted to ask you a question.
Then you can contact the PIO because you are media.
Oh, yes, that's correct. But I have a question.
You don't have an emergency, Levi?
I don't have an emergency.
I know what goes on. Very well versed.
Okay.
I know you were just talking to him. That's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
You're not going to get into it with you.
Okay.
How
do you know what I'm asking?
Because I heard you guys talking.
Okay.
So that's what it is.
And that's why I said point of clarification.
So you're gonna go talk to our PIO, right?
Okay. That's fine. Yeah. I can do. You want to call them now? I don't think they work on Saturday.
She's here.
She's here? Where is she? I'd love to talk to her. Long's here?
I don't know. Long's here.
Long is here.
Yeah. Do you have a number?
No, I have her number. Yeah.
Call her up. She'll tell you.
Okay. So if I just wanted to, just for me speaking, if I walk past that barrier, who issued the trespass?
You're not good.
Okay.
You're good to walk in the line.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
But some people are trespassed. That was only. Okay. Certain people are trespassed.
There's a bigger picture than
Okay.
a 2-minute conversation that's going to be on the.
That's fine. That's all I was trying to figure out. Was like, if I walk past this line, are you guys? Is Officer Fry going to pull out her baton and beat me over the head with it until my skinny,
Officer Fry, Levi, and you know what's
until my
very well.
skinny white head is blood red? I just wanted to know. You know what I
There's
mean?
a lot more things to it than a 2-minute. Okay, so right now I'm not going to get into it.
Okay.
I'm going to refer you to the audience.
So one of the things that I wanted to ask you was when the police officer said to you that you guys were trespassed. What was your initial reaction? Did you try to push back at that at all? Did you think that that was unusual? I mean, what was your initial thinking?
I thought that he was infringing on my right for free speech. I thought that he was obviously showing favoritism. He wasn't being fair to us. If it's open to the public, we're just as public as anyone.
Yeah.
And so to infringe on our rights and suppress our rights, I mean, we're acquainted with these things, but it shouldn't happen. It should not be happening at a public event where it's cited on record on the papers that all public is welcome.
I'm not allowed into the Pride event.
Is he allowed to demo if she's in too much? I would like to say.
There we go. Good job. Good job. So why are we not allowed in the event?
Because it's a permitted event and protesters are not allowed into the permitted area.
We're not protesting.
You are protesting.
We're disciples of Jesus Christ.
That's fine.
We're
You can
proclaiming
call
the
yourself
gospel.
whatever you want, but to us, you're protesting. And that's just the way that it works.
Is the Bible a banned book?
I'm just letting you know
Is
that
the
you're
Bible a
protesting.
banned
I don't have
book?
to answer your questions about the Bible.
Okay,
I'm
so
letting
that's
you know that you're a protester.
What's your name and badge number?
It's Sergeant Aldrich, Frederick City Police, ID 462. You're not allowed into the event.
Get his name and badge. So that's an unlawful request, officer, and
It's a permitted event. You're not
I
allowed
would
to
not try to arrest
Everybody
us.
is in there.
I would not try to arrest
Okay.
Absolutely. So had any police deputies, any police officers, had anyone said you had committed a crime that day?
Not at all.
Had you done anything that was, maybe could be described as you're being a nuisance? Had you done anything like that? And I'm not talking about speech or
Right.
religion. Had you, were you throwing water? Were you throwing bottles? Were you being a nuisance in any way that would have made a law enforcement official say these people, this group of people are being disorderly? Anything like that?
No, sir. We were simply preaching the Word of God, standing on the Word of God, delivering the message of the Lord. That's simply what we were doing.
You know, I would ask if somebody had complained about you guys, but I actually filed a Maryland Public Information request to see if anyone had complained about your situation, and nobody had. They had no responsive records to that. So I would ask you, but I already know the answer to that question. How does it make you feel to know that nobody even complained about you guys being there? Like there was not even a complaint.
It was just the opposite. Even though there may have been differences of beliefs between us and the LGBT community, they were actually telling us to come in and you know. But it was only the police officers that day that said that we could not.
So for the record, I now want to turn to one of the documents that we received through public information requests. This was turned over by the Frederick City Attorney's Office. In this document dump that we have, we requested basically all of the permitting application records for this event. And it makes it clear what looks like is the contract in the receipt. The sales receipt is what it's listed as. It says, and I want to read it in quote, all events must provide a path of public pedestrian access along the creek, that being Carroll Creek Parkway where this event happened. So I'll read that again. All events must, that's crucial, must provide a path of pedestrian access along the creek. Public.
Absolutely.
You were the public. I was the public. The public is us.
Sure, absolutely.
They have to provide access. This is not discretionary. This is shall. So hearing that, what does that say to you? That this is in the agreement. The four corners. This is what the event signed off to when they told the city of Frederick, we want to have this event. How does that hit you?
It's obvious they are pandering to one side. It's obvious it's discrimination. It's obvious it's suppression on our free speech.
All right, so this is Officer Alger. He's standing in the same spot earlier that we filmed him, and just a minute ago he was physically assaulting me in the same spot, saying I can't be here when we were here before. There's the event, there's the table. He assaulted me about right here. Oh yeah, oh now I'm not going to get you involved after you assaulted me.
Where you're not supposed
Oh, look guys, that's where I'm not supposed to be. We were preaching. Is she allowed to stand there? Is she, I can film whatever my eye can see. Ask these officers. Maybe they know the law. Maybe they know the law. Corrupt. We're going to get the lieutenant over here. We'll see if the lieutenant is a tyrant like this guy. This guy didn't touch me. Ran 532. This is Frederick County Police, guys. You can call in.
Frederick City.
He's now hiding his name. It's Alger 462, guys. The more you call in, the court of public opinion is powerful, guys.
A lot of people looked at this and they said that this was unlawful, a violation of 1983 USC, you know, deprivation of rights under color of law. That's what a lot of people have said. They have made that claim. Are you looking at any sort of legal remedy right now?
Sure. I mean, you know, we would like to pursue that.
Yeah.
You know, we would like to, if it's possible, to obtain legal counsel.
Yeah.
And proceed. I mean, they were willing to do what they did to us. And you know, usually we don't take that route, but yeah, I think in this instance, I think it needs to be done.
Coming up, Maryland activist Shawn Porter reacts to Pastor Raymond's interview. We'll be right back.
All right, guys, and now we are back with Maryland activist. You know him well, Shawn Porter. We are going to get his instant reaction to the interview that we just did with Brother Ray. Brother Ray told you about his situation on June 22nd, where it is his claim that he was unlawfully trespassed by the Frederick City Police Department. So, Shawn, you were on the sidelines. You heard Brother Ray speak. What is your instant reaction to this situation on June 22nd out of Frederick?
They're f***ed.
Really?
Frederick City Police has no legal basis in the law with which they could use to trespass guys based on their religious shirts or the religious speech that's coming out of their mouths in a public park. It's open to the public. In order to be trespassed from public property, you have to commit a crime. It was during normal business hours, so time, place, and manner restrictions can't possibly apply. It's not like it was 10 o'clock at night and the park was closed. It's a sidewalk, so it's also a thoroughfare. It's like a public road. You get along Carroll Creek, and you go from bar to bar to bar to bar, or if you suck, from restaurant to restaurant to restaurant. But it's not an area that you can restrict someone's egress just because of their appearance for wearing a shirt with religious stuff on it, or for the fact that they're talking about God or what have you. And there's people that don't like people who talk about God in the park. You can't pick and choose which people's viewpoints you allow into the park. Just because a group rented it for the day does not mean they can exclude the public based on their religious speech, based on their religious attire, or based on them simply existing and being religious people.
So you have come into the possession of the documents that I sent you that I obtained through Maryland Public Information. You saw on that third page where it said that if you apply the rules back on the receipt, sort of like a contract, but you read on the third page where it said that if you're going to host this event, that you must allow the public to come through. You must provide passage to the public. What did you make of that line? What does it say to you?
It's consistent with the law. It's a public park. It is a traditional public forum.
Yes.
It is paid for by the public, and you cannot exclude the public because of their religious viewpoints, their religious attire, their religious free speech, or their very existence being offensive to people who don't like men of God, so to speak. There's literally no lawful purpose in them refusing entry and egress down that public sidewalk through that public park to the other end of town. It's absolutely, completely unlawful. It's a violation of their First Amendment civil rights.
You have stated to me before that you wished you would have been there that day.
Oh, yeah.
Why?
Because I would like to pay off my Jeep.
So you think they would have arrested you and they would have settled? You would have
it would never go to court. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of. Here's the problem.
Okay.
Let me give you the real problem.
Okay.
The people that are going to suffer for this are the cops that we met at Roy Rogers. So,
same ones.
Yeah.
Same ones.
So the people that we like are going to suffer. Chief Lando or Mayor whatever, they are not going to suffer. It's going to be the actual beat cops.
I'd love to hear from the upper echelon Frederick City Police Department. I was told to reach out to Samantha Long. Unfortunately, she won't return my communications. So evidently I'm going to just assume that means that they don't want to talk about this subject. That's usually what that means.
They're burying it. Here's the deal. They are defendants in a civil rights lawsuit. They know it. They're not going to say a word.
Here's my question to you.
It's that simple.
I think that the Frederick City Police Department are a relatively intelligent police department. Why would they would have to know that doing something like that would not be permissible? Why do you think they would attempt to try what they did on June 22nd? Why?
Well,
what's the reason?
Because they think they're going to turn the other cheek, and that they're
Who are we talking about?
Brother Ray and his preacher friends are going to turn the other cheek at the end of the day. That's not going to happen now.
Did you happen to see the video where I walked up to Officer Gerund and I asked him for a point of clarification, and he wouldn't speak to me? But he did confirm that I was welcome in, but he directly also stated in that same breath that there was seemingly a group of people notioning towards the group of religious men that they were not welcome, that they were trespassed from that event. He specifically said, my sergeant has said to you, has given you a lawful order that if you come into Carroll Creek, that you will be arrested. What did you make of that footage to see that I
was pissed.
They said I could come in with, well, and I'll get the question now, but they welcomed me in with open arms. People were flooding in left and right, but these guys could not come in. What was your reaction when you saw that?
Well, it's real simple. You're going to fight, they're not going to.
You think that? You think so?
Pussies get f***ed.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Hi, you've reached Samantha Long, the Public Information Officer for the Frederick Police Department. I'm currently unavailable to take your call, but please send me a message and I'll get right back to you. Thanks.
Yes, hello. I'm calling in to get some information about an incident that transpired on the 22nd of this month where a group of Christian preachers, like street preacher individuals, seemingly were trespassed from the Frederick Pride Festival. I'm trying to get some information about that. I have some information that they tell me. I'm trying to seek more clarification about that incident from the Frederick City Police Department as to what might have happened there. So I would appreciate a call back as it relates to that situation and about that topic. Number is 3-5, and that is what I'm seeking clarification on. And with that, hope to hear from you soon. Thank you very much.